Hi guys, welcome to another Doctor Who book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Beltempest. Yeah, as you can tell by my voice, I'm not very enthusiastic about this book at all, because, quite frankly, there's only one word to describe this book, and that is, it's crap. So, right, okay, I'll read you the blurb in a second so you'll get a basic summary of what it's about, even though the blurb is actually quite long and it's incredibly boring. Right. Okay, the one thing I expect from a Doctor Who book is comedy. Well, although there's not that much comedic elements, but I mean, I would like a few. I mean, not an overdose, because instead of a science fiction book, it'll be a bloody comedic book, which is not really good. Anyway, yeah, Jim Mortimore, who wrote this book, mate, it was just complete and utter garbage. I just really did not enjoy this book at all. I was so bored out of my mind, and I was so desperate to finish this. And I managed to read it in 3 days because it is a short book because I think the average Doctor Who BBC book is about 280 pages, and this little bitch is, let's have a look, 249 pages, so yeah, it's quite a proportion shorter than your average BBC book. Now, I have to say, this is probably one of the most terrible Doctor Who books I have read. All of the books you see behind you are frankly brilliant, but this is pants. This is not a recommended story at all, because don't judge a book by its cover, because sometimes I do that. For example, The Face Eater, which I've mentioned quite a few times, and I should really stop now. But that wasn't. That's a fantastic. I've read The Face Eater now. It's a fantastic book, and I judged it by its cover because I thought, oh yeah, it's going to be a really dark, gruesome. Well, not gruesome, but quite horrific story. And I was right. It was. But Beltempest, I thought this was going to be a real, action-packed story. I don't know why. It was just one of my, an intention that I thought that this book was going to be like. But no, it was the complete opposite, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was just a really crap, boring. I mean, I could easily imagine this being as a science fiction story rather than a Doctor Who story, to be honest, because I just didn't like it at all. I wouldn't recommend it to a Doctor Who fan, especially. Maybe if you're just an overall science fiction fan, then you might be interested in this. But I can easily imagine there's a different set of characters, as it were, going through the story without, obviously, the main characters being the Doctor, Sam, and the other characters. But no, he doesn't. Jim Mortimore didn't really have much detail through his characters, which annoyed me, because if I want to read a Doctor Who book, I want to know more about the characters and what they're going to do and what's going to happen next and things like that. But this writer here, I'm sure he's written other good books, but if he has, then this isn't one of his best, to be perfectly honest, because after I read this book, because I completely despised it. I still despise it now to a certain extent. So I had a look on the Amazon review guide, well, not guide, but on the customer reviews, and they thought exactly the same thing that I was thinking. Lack of plot. The plot, I don't know. I'm not sure if it had potential. I don't know, but it did lack in plot quite a bit. I mean, the story didn't really go anywhere. It turned itself into a mess, and yeah, I mean, this book has made me hate the Doctor and Sam, in a way, and that might be just due down to the writer's fault, because if this is what the rest of his books look like, then I will frankly give up on him and move on to other writers such as the legend Terence Dicks or Simon Messingham or Justin Richards or Mike Tucker or Stephen Cole. You know, I'm just reading the names of these because they're brilliant writers. But Jim Mortimore, this is crap. I was incredibly disappointed because I'm a bit of an idiot. I judged it by its blurb and expecting a real proper good action-packed story when actually it was complete garbage and something which I could have shoved up my arse, and that sounded weird. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's first of all, when we have a look at the books, let's take a look at its cover. So it's a basic solar system really, because you'll see in a minute, see why by the blurb. You've got Jim Mortimore there, Beltempest. Now I'm not kind of sure what kind of colours you would call this, but I only call it an ice stripe. Icy blue kind of stripe across the Paul McGann logo there. You've got BBC Books, take a look at the side there. You've got the picture on the front cover, and loads of lines going off in different directions, and BBC Books. So let's take a look at the blurb of this really terrible story. Okay, the people of Beltempest too see their son, Bel, shrouded in night, for a month following an impossible triple eclipse. When Bel is returned to them younger, brighter, hotter star, it is the beginning of the end for the entire solar system. 100,000 years later, the Doctor and Sam arrive on Beltempest IV, where the population is under threat as disasters looms. Immense gravitational and dimensional disturbances are, what does that say? Surging through this area of space. While the time travellers attempt to help the survivors and ease devastation, a religious suicide cult leader is determined to spread and more dangerous than the terrible forces. New religion through Bel's system, and his word may prove even more dangerous than the terrible forces brought into by being the changes in the sun. So as you can see, the blurb makes it sound a really good book, but I can tell you it isn't. And it says here, this is another in the series of original adventures featuring the 8th Doctor and Sam. And it's $5.99, but $4.99, but it only cost me 95p. And I'm sure you can buy it for £1 off Amazon. Whether or not you get it second hand. So overall, I'd probably give this book a 3 out of 10. It's probably one of the most boring Doctor Who books I've ever read, and I would not recommend it. And this is the first of my 8th Doctor book reviews. Join me next time, as I will be reviewing The Face Eater. And apologies about the confusion between my last video that I did about me saying, oh, I'm not going to do any more videos for the last 2 weeks, etc, etc, blah blah blah. Because I do apologise for that. I probably won't delete the video for archival purposes, but yeah. Okay, thank you for watching this first 8th Doctor book review, and I shall see you next time for The Face Eater. Comment, rate, subscribe, and goodbye.